Hello, my good friends. Sure is a pleasure always to spend time doing the video thing. You're probably going to see the Hildy tape we did. I mean, it is a bold title. No more bullshit. It is a bold title. But I inspire all of you to write books. What the heck? You don't have to know all the ins and outs. I certainly didn't. I'm an old country boy. But pretty much the one that assists you in putting your book together sometimes pulls their hair out. But I love it when you guys tell your stories from Hellville to Wellville. And certainly Hildy's one of them. And a lot of you have done this and brought yourselves back. And even it can be a little bitty thin book. Who cares? Just a little bitty thing. Look what I did. You know. But I thank you for sending me in all these science things that you guys come across. We are hound dogs on this, of course. And we're out to prove, obviously, what we see happening. We're out to prove it. You know, it's almost in reverse. In the medical community, you want to be able to put your hands on something and see it before you believe it exists. That's okay. The problem when you start out with faulty theories and then you associate findings with those theories, it becomes interesting, to say the very least. And I have told you that when I get back, I'm going to do a video here on the allopathic concept of why diet doesn't matter, what you eat doesn't matter, all this kind of stuff, and it's like idiocy thinking. But I just love this research. I tell you what, there's, you know, it's funny, you have kind of the mundane that goes along believing in those old kind of thinking ways, and then you have good research going on. Really good research in a lot of places. Then you have crap research, no question, but that's duality. But I think we read it to you with her video. A lot of you are seeing this already. Would you Adam or Eve it? And basically what this study has found, excuse me please, is that the reason the primate and human brain is so big is they're linking it to the fruit diets. And the more percentage of fruit in the diet that a primate eats, the smarter and the bigger the brain. Dang, mucus. So, incredible. Scientists have discovered a link between the amount of fruit eaten by primates and the size of their brains. I think it is so amazing because, you know, when we're working with these neurological cases, and I brought this up with on her video, was when you're going after nerve regeneration, whether you're in a paraplegic scenario, a quad scenario, MS, Lou Gehrig's, Parkinson's, whatever, nerve regeneration takes a high energetic source of chemistry consumption. Medical doctors would know this because they don't play in the world of regeneration. They're busy trapped with symptom treating and lumping everything into some kind of diseases, so only they exclusively can fight diseases. So a lot of people have had hell to pay just because they use common language, and that the allopaths have moved some of this into common language. Well, you know, there comes a time where we need to get honesty in our judicial system and stuff where we can take this to task. Because it's just so much corruption, you know, on this planet. It's unbelievable. It never ever came out of it, I don't think. But amazing. Chimps, which have the biggest primate brains, eat far more fruit than other primates. You know, this is just a study. It's an incredible study. It came out of the Telegraph. What was the lady that did this? I thought this was interesting. What was her name? The lady that wrote this article, let's see, I just took my other paper in there, but I commend her for writing an article like that. It was funny, my son found it on the internet and then it was gone. So it's incredible. So this is particularly good for parents. And you should start getting these studies and keeping them, because yesterday I had the opportunity to talk to an individual that has a 1-year-old with eye cancer. And of course, you can imagine what the outcome allopathic would be on that one, can't you? Okay. And then I talked to a young, real young girl with brain cancer. You're seeing a lot of the babies and 4 and 5 and 7-year-olds with brain tumors. And I've been predicting this as long as these videos have been going, and then of course a good 15 years before that. I mean, when you understand genetics and the downhill slide, and understanding this in the way that we teach this here, pretty soon you begin to realize we're in trouble genetically at the cellular level. Forget about the chemistry of the body. It's a total mess. I mean, when you have people out there claiming that what you eat has no effect on the body in terms of chemistry, these people are just living in worlds way, way beyond, or smoking something real bad in the back room. Because that's just idiocy in the thinking. Yeah, the body produces bicarbonate, and yeah, it helps pH in certain areas. But to think that just the simple bicarbonate neutralizes pounds of metabolitic waste, cellular metabolitic waste, is stupid. There is a body sewer system, believe it or not, and that is vital for everyone to learn, and especially parents, because I'm telling you guys, you parents that are saving your children, you're the blessed ones. Just think of these poor children from these parents that have no idea. And it's not so bad if once you learn you could work on your children, but those in the States have another problem, and that is the medical community had brainwashed government officials thinking that, well, everybody else doesn't know. I mean, I think that a lawsuit against the allopathic community, a huge class action lawsuit, and knowing how that could be done right, could slam a lot of states and things awake because of just what's going on there. We need a good jury trial with a lot of media attention, and let me tell you, done right, the exposure of what's going on to the world would be gasping to a lot of people. People ignore things, ignore pharmaceutical commercials with fatal events and stuff like that with the pharmaceuticals and stuff. And there's coming a time where man can't no longer avoid the side effects of pharmaceuticals, because man is so acidic and so weak cellularly that these are more real than ever before, these side effects. But isn't that incredible, linking and again, this links man to being the islander, the original, the frugivore species that he is, that we've been talking about. So the more scientific data you get, if you're ever pulled into court for anything, you can have mounds of this and say, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And of course, you guys are getting so smart, kind of hard to get around you. It's kind of hard to dispel what you're saying, because what you're saying is truth. The other thing is that you can prove it. It's one thing to have theories, and I love it when all the past call us naturopaths all kinds of bad names. The problem is in applied theories. All right? This is where the big problem is. Let's just say, for an example, one didn't believe in the natural way of chemistry and physics, that we believe in some allopathic ridiculousness of diseases and stuff. All right, so let's look at the applied theory. So in our application of our theories, look at how many of you are saving your lives, pulling your bodies back to Wellville, and spiritualizing yourself at the same time by the thousands. When we look at the allopathic community, how many deaths last year? 50 million worldwide or more, maybe close. I mean, staggering numbers. In America alone, there was 16 million from chemotherapy. I mean, it's just amazing the level of deaths. And then when you look at deaths, then you look at the harm done to tissue, the damage done by these pharmaceuticals, which far exceeds the death rate. So add the death rate and the harm done by pharmaceuticals, and you're way up there. Way up there. But I'm not negating the fact that in today's world, some pharmaceuticals are essential. There's no question. I'm not negating that at all. But when you use a pharmaceutical to try to, in a long-term effort, to treat your symptoms and stuff, you're going to end up with serious complications. If you're taking an aspirin for a headache, I get that. But that's not what's happening in most cases. But don't you love that? The fact that fruit is one of the big reasons man's brain, so people always think fruit isn't nutritious. Fruit isn't, and it's like it's the opposite. A man is almost if man says something, if you believe in the opposite, you'll be right on. Now, let's look at some of these because I only have a short period of time and I won't be able to do any videos next week. Next week is a lot of work and I'm going to be kind of in and out of town. And it's got the class coming up. And we've got a big class coming up, Shannon. What did you do to me? This was sent to you, not for YouTube, just for you. Oh, better not read that. Oh. In the news, creatine regenerates muscle, fueling ATP. Oh my God. Lymph nodes. All right. Oh, did you see this? This is what is this from? Who sent me this? Simone. And it's funny. It says Stanford University. Stanford University news. Clogged lymph systems are making women fat. More and more people, and it's thanks to you guys, really, that are using the word lymphatic. More and more, it's not a freaky word, a mysterious word. More and more people are associating lymphatic with the sewer immune system of the human body. So, and it's thanks to you guys that the word is getting out there and people are now understanding what system is down in the body, what side of chemistry they're suffering with, and just why we need to move to a raw diet of fruits, berries, and melons. If you were just general health, you could add salads to that and be okay. But when you want to dig in and clean, remember the size of the brain, So fruit. King of all foods, in my opinion. Fruits and berries are the king of all food. Melons, they're good old boys. Watermelon, some of you can't even eat watermelon. It's so strong. It's strong. Remember, but it's red. Remember color therapy. Color therapy is very real. But that's pretty cool, don't you think? Now, I just got so much stuff on my desk. I apologize, but my God. Look after your lymph. We've been doing a lot of lymph work. This is a lot of research. Let me see here. A ton of research. Sky News. Oh yeah. Sky News reveals, this is from Marco, it says Sky News reveals how documents were destroyed and information withheld about a drug that may have deformed and killed babies in the womb. I mean, man is out of control. That's why the spiritual beings are sent here now, because man has lost their way. And this ridiculousness of the pharmaceutical world. But thanks, Michael. This sort of thing just regurgitates me that there's any human willing to make something like that or to do something like that to another, even in an experimental issue. And then we have the big FDA. Those guys are sitting on a seat that's so hot, I wouldn't want to be them. Because things can't go on forever the way they're going. And when the fan gets hit, the fan gets hit bad. Sad stuff. Maria was one of 1.5 million women in Britain who took this drug from Germany. Yuck. The man has to learn the antidote for his suffering is in nature. You come out of nature, your body does, and you require nature. Chemistry and physics rule. Now, we have theories, all kinds of theories in chemistry and many theories in physics. Many. Matter of fact, some of the Newton stuff is being dispelled now. And I mean, it's just interesting, the growth in awareness. But remember, this is just creation. You're learning what already exists. So how can you learn something before it takes so long in the mind to learn it? Consciousness. Pull back from thinking and allow you to view. You can view so much more. See, the problem is that a lot of intellectuals are trapped in the thinking process and think that you have to be a thinker to know anything. The problem, the reverse is true. Remember that? Almost the reverse is always true. So the intellectual, as narcissistic as that builds, the opposite is true. Sometimes it locks you into these little worlds of unconsciousness. Look at the allopathic community. These guys are unconscious. These guys are narcissistic as a rule. As a rule. There are the good guys. But we got a lot of naturopaths, same way. Very narcissistic, very involved, not thinking about health of people. Not looking at old naturopathy, researching naturopathy. Just, buying the treatment-based thinking. And then going to states trying to get licenses so they can treat. Hey, could you have him answer this on a video? Thought it was a pretty good question. Question for the clinic. It is stated that honey in infants can cause botulism and is not recommended to be given to babies under 12 months old. If this is a risk, can infants under 12 months old safely be given your glycerin formulas, which are made with raw honey? We have babies on our formulas for years. I have to say, there's so much propaganda out there. I've never seen a baby die from honey, and a lot of mamas give their babies honey in all ways. So I can't see anything like that would hurt anybody like that. I can't see that. If honey's going to hurt you, it's going to hurt you right off. The age is not a factor, my opinion. So I don't see anything like that, to be honest with you. So, I don't know. I don't ever see anything like that. And of course, our glycerin formulas are used by infants of all ages, and I'm talking about almost newborns. I mean, when you have newborns that are have cancers and stuff, you can't risk anything but go after them aggressively. The problem in the States, and I feel sorry for these parents, is the allopaths and the law. I mean, it's just we got so far corrupt. Look at the fight here between the negative forces and the positive forces in America. And he's saying the positive comes out, the negative forces jump on it. But again, that's all tied to the World Bank and that whole "we kicked your butt this time" World Bank. Some things won't be allowed to take place, and it just has to realize that. Okay, gallstones on a preemie. Whoa. Hi, I have a daughter which is 1 year old. And she has gallstones since she was in the hospital as a preemie. Gallstones develop, I think, because the IV, what she had there was, she spent the first 75 days in NICU. I do administer to her Ursodiol for the past 10 months. Please let me know if there is anything that I can do to help her. God bless you. Well, she's 1 year old now, right? Okay, so 1 year old. I would take her off of all dairy products. If you're breastfeeding, stop. Get her on a fruit diet. It's time. 1 year old, it's more than time. So start her on a fruit diet, fruit and berries, and some melons. This will start breaking up, hydrating and breaking up interstitially those things that are getting hard. And of course, stones like this. You can't do a liver gallbladder flush on a 1 year old, but you can give them the liver gallbladder formula, which also helps to purge the stones. Fruit diets dissolve, and anytime you move the body from an acid condition to a base condition, and for an infant to have gallstones shows how acidic your infant is. That's what I would be worried about. The formation of stones, tumors, cysts, this is all done under the acid sky. So, yeah, problem. So we need to get that baby in an alkaline stance, which then will dissolve those things that are hard, including gallstones. and then she'll purge whatever out of there. But I would do that. I'd get her on a little herbal program for the kidneys, the adrenals, the lymph system, because this is where you're going to look at this, and get her alkalized and get these stones out of her, Lee. That's the only way. You can do a liver gallbladder flush on a little one, but it also shows that liver gallbladder is vulnerable to become fatty and all kinds of problems. So really, this is a good time to start the baby on fruits and berries and melons. Highest nutritional food. Remember what we just talked about, the development of the human brain? That's why when we put you on babies on a fruit diet, this is why you see their comprehensions level skyrocket. Matter of fact, most of the babies that we worked on and got them on raw are taking college courses in their lower high school years or younger. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding you. Remember I told you about a gambler, professional gambler, that told me that our upper circumbrain nerve always gave her an edge. You will be amazed at how the human is so underdeveloped and how that's getting into the proper foods for the species and learning about the trap of thought and the mind and the thinking process. You can take the human into a much, much higher level of expression, which is what the human needs, because if the humans never could evolve and grow, it'll be terminated, and was just about to do that. So that's why you see some of the sit here to deal with this, because this was there were scientists, remember, talking about 2025 being the end of the human race with the degradation of the human cell at this level. Take a look at the infants full of cancers now and stuff. So just remember, this is a serious, serious thing for the human being. Although this is still creation and illusionary in one way, it is still a place of learning and development for the self. Now, questions for YouTube, hardened lymph and healing crisis. I am a 48-year-old woman diagnosed with breast cancer March 2016. Yuck. I had the titanium clip put in. I don't know, I hope that we can get to the ladies and say, stop that medical doctors from putting these titanium clips in you. It's a foreign object, get it out. You don't need it. It's crazy. And biopsies. You got to understand, when you biopsy, you got to be willing to deal with what happens next. And what happens next, as a rule, explosion of the problem. Explosion of the problem. And I've heard this story for, how many years have I been doing this? Not in the earlier years. They just started doing the titanium, but they've been doing biopsies till hell froze over. And it just almost invariably takes things off. And it's like, leave the women alone. You don't need to take a biopsy. You don't need to physically know if there's a cancer cell in the tumor. Assume it. The problem with that is they want to juice you. They want to juice you with chemo and radiation. They want that money. And I hate to talk that way, but boy, do I hear story after story from other medical doctors. Oh yeah, I have friends that are medical doctors, even though the system is flawed. The individuals involved, there's some nice people that are medical doctors, and there are some real bastards. People that just thought their life doesn't stink. You know what I mean? And that isn't the case. And that's why I say to you guys, watch your ego. Keep it in the closet. It's not necessary. You're working for the divine. And no ego needed. Truth is truth. No ego needed. Everybody's subjected to it. Everybody is consciousness, so no ego needed. No ego needed whatsoever. Who cares? No one's better than another, no matter what one thinks. Oh, clip in. Cringing. Also had a needle biopsy. No, I know. The doctors wanted to slash and burn my breast, and body, but my husband had presence of mind to refuse all that. Oh, nice man. That was the end of my allopathic experience. Oh, wow. Well, you got a good husband, because generally the opposite is true, guys. I hate to say that. I immediately and intuitively water fasted. Oh, smart woman. For 18 days intuitively. See, this is a spiritual woman right here. When you listen to your inner guidance, that's what I'm saying. Instead of always thinking and chattering and desiring things, sit back. You don't need anything. If you do, buy it, get it, whatever. If you sit back, put it out to the universe, it'll supply it for you. Somehow it'll work it out for you. But you have to realize the universe is here for you too. You know, it's here for every single one because we're all part of the expression of everything. How cool, huh? 18-day fast, and during that time found you on YouTube. Oh wow, may the blessings be. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for helping to save my life. Oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what this is all about. And remember dry fasting, guys? Remember grape fast and stuff like this. You know, this idea that someone has got a tumor and sentenced to hell and that could be their life is just crazy. One of the problems, though, we're facing is that people are so not only genetically weak, but so lymphatically constipated that by the time they see an expression explode, they're in trouble. They've got hardened lymph nodes, things like this, which is hard to break through. So, you know, there are things that, you know, that cause us to ponder and that are hard to work through. But look at the other side and what you have to put up on the other side. Chemotherapy, radiation, probably lung cancer from the metastasize of the radiation burning the lungs, of course. Of course, that's already lymphatically compromised because the same axillary lymph system is involved. Blah, 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 blah. I started a protocol of fruit and some vegetables that I have been on ever since. I put myself on a 30-day grape fast or a 40-day grape fast. I intermittent lemon juice with that. I dry, 24, 36-hour dry fast once a week or so. I would hit it hard. Then I would get on herbs for the kidneys, the adrenals, the lymphatic system, clean up my bowels, get my other endos up and going, get my nervous system up so it turns on everything. This is good. I have mono fruit fasted. Boy, this is a good woman right here. Good husband, too. Lemonade fasted. Sometimes going off fruit for a week. Sometimes I eat cooked vegetables. I juice a lot. Lots of citrus. I went on some lymphatic and kidney formulas. Heal All Tea, 3-Lung Tea, GI Broom. Brought your Detox Miracle book. Watched your videos. 6 months later, I had a thermal scan which showed no cancer. That's pretty good. Wow. I felt great. Lots of energy, but the lymph nodes would swell up and hurt at times. It just shows that you're still involved lymphatically and you want to keep going until that doesn't happen anymore. That's all I can say is that keep going until you can have a piece of cake and maybe a dish of ice cream and your lymph nodes don't explode on you, which shows you that those foods explode the lymph nodes and that are compromising of the lymphatic system. Good job. Good job, good job, good job. But the lymph nodes would swell up and hurt at times, and my breast has a hardness to it. Yeah, you want to get that out. Keep working, keep working, keep working this, and get that hardness out of there. Fibroids and I mean, everything gets hard that's acidic. So you want to keep working until that breast gets soft again. A hard mass that will not give. Well, you could have some hardened lymph nodes here. Again, keep working on kidney filtration. Do the dry fasting. Really keep going with this. You could use an oil under the arms. Maybe a castor oil or something to see if that'll loosen it up. Laetrile kind of loosens up hardened lymph nodes and stuff. So if you can get some Laetrile, B17, but don't expect it to be a miracle thing because for years I've used it, this and that. I don't think America likes it. It's amazing the power and control of some of these people, and they're losing it. And of course, with you guys, the truth is now out there. And it's like, you can't stop truth. I don't care how bad the negative forces don't want this out there. It's too late. So now, they just have to sit back and deal with it. But really want to go. Now she says, I have applied castor oil packs, cabbage leaves. I have left it alone. I have put cool and warm compresses. That's smart. On it. I have used salt water and Epsom salt baths. That's smart. Try the neurolymphatic points here in the sternum and in the back. Work those neurolymphatic points. Nothing is breaking up the hardened lymph. Well, things can get pretty hard, dear, so just keep working it, keep working it, keep doing the grapes, keep doing that, and keep doing that. Let your body hydrate. If the lymph node has to rebuild itself a little bit, then it just does. you just got to realize that sometimes our lymph nodes get hardened or atrophy from birth or something, and so there's a lot. Once you know the truth of things, there's still a lot of things that are, tough, and that's one of them. That's one of them. And all I can tell you is keep going, stretch out your dry fasting a little bit if you want to, get more aggressive with monos, and we'll keep working in that way. I would probably get on lymph node 5 with the lymphatic 1 capsules. Then I'd do 2 kidney formulas and adrenal gland formula, get away. I'd really go full bore with this. I like the GI broom and the stomach and bowel. 3-lung tea is good. Sip that throughout the day because it breaks up hardened mucus. You could apply some 3-lung tea here too, probably, and let that drive in. It's a kind of a poultice there. The affected breast is larger than the healthy breast because it's swollen with lymph. That's the problem. Is when the lymph system gets backed up, it can rip the tissue apart. So there's a lot of lymphatic responses called inflammation, and inflammation just isn't interleukin and things like this. Inflammation is also the pulling of calcium, which medical doctor made a comment one time that the body doesn't do that. Oh, really? I mean, you can see it. And so you see calcification or calcium issues, and you see cholesterol issues, lipid issues. And if you understand acids, you would understand why that is, what's going on there, why the body would do that. It's not going to grab a minor mineral when it can grab the most abundant mineral of the body and rip it apart from its matrix. The bicarbonate of the kidneys, in my opinion, are for the kidneys. You've got a pancreatic duct bicarbonate, but when you're thinking about bicarbonate as a systemic alkalizer, I think that's a misconception and a mistheory. Now I have a new symptom. I am almost a year into the day of my change of lifestyle, and I'm experiencing excruciating back pain. I think it is my first real healing crisis, and it could be. And that kind of brings me to an interesting point here. Keep your spine straight. Go to good chiropractors that align your spine the right way and work with kinesiology, and it'll be quite helpful because could be your spine's out from the weaknesses, and then of course that can affect lymph drainage as well. So get your back straight and get a chiropractor to line your back up and put it back straight again. It's always going to want to pull because of the lymph system. Remember, one kidney is always weaker than another. It's rare to have bilaterally the same kidneys. So basically one kidney is weaker than the other, and that side you see when you look at your eyes, more lymphatic problems or more genetic weaknesses on that one side as opposed to the other side of the body. Cool stuff. But it helps to explain why that exists, because you experience it in reality, but medical has not been able to answer those questions because they're off chasing diseases and using toxic chemistry to do it. And it's like, yeah, go off and play, because we are in serious issues here. We need serious conversations, not the bull crap that you throw off to everybody, autoimmune crap and stuff in your head stuff and all this crap. There is living reality out here, and they need to join this. So the back pain, now where is that back pain? L4, L5, I've said this many times, your kidneys, and of course, look at your eyes. Iridology is such a cool science to help you look at, oh, that's why I have back pain. Ooh, I have a big lacuna right there in the middle of my back. Oh, I feel that. That's healing crisis. And healing crisis can be very, very painful. Very painful. You're going to go back and experience almost everything you have in your life in reverse order. If you fell and hurt your knee, you could experience that on your journey backwards, because most people eat acid-forming foods, which mean any trauma to the body really never heals completely. So you will revisit past old trauma places and genetic weaknesses and stuff like that, absolutely. So the healing crisis is not always a fun thing. It can be, a real booger bear. The pain moves from mid-shoulder blades to kidneys. Yep, that's in a healing crisis. Yeah, when it's moving like that, that's a healing crisis. But you get to see where all you have problems, because you're not going to have a symptom, even in a healing crisis, where there's no problems. Why would you? There's no problems there. Only in your weaker areas and your most congested areas. And of course, this is tied to this, right? Absolutely. So you're just breaking up and just keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't stop. You know, you really realize that you're just on the diet that humans should be on naturally in the first place. You're not doing anything special other than that. Oh, you're monoing it and getting a little bit focused with herbs and stuff. Yes. But isn't it interesting how you're just on the diet, again, as we keep learning all of this new research on fruit and the brain and the nervous systems, and we've experienced that. I've told you that for years. Vegetables are not good neural rebuilders in humans. And if you got neuropathies and you've got any type of neurological weakness, you want to go to the fruits, berries, and melons, period. End of story. Forget the vegetables. So absolutely it is. At night it is, oh yeah, I bet. You know, I was on pretty strong lymph tincture and kidney tincture 4 and 5. Oh, good deal. Good deal. So I stopped taking that to give it all a rest. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Those are strong. You know, they do pull. You know, when you're really backed up and pull on that, yeah, you can get some pain out of that. But this, you know, you're one smart lady. I tell you, I commend you. That's a good inner guidance. That's just what you do. If you feel like you're going too fast, slow it down a little bit, especially the lymphatic formulas. Those are the booger bears. Those are the rippers. I'm going to come in and break open tumors and stuff, bloodroot, pokeroot, chaparral, but all the other ones, violets and just red clovers and burdocks, all these are great for the lymphatic system. Good stuff. Good stuff. So I mean, just smart. There's just this is being smart in detox. And if you get real bad and the pain is so bad, it's been going on for a week or two, and you want to stop it, just start eating cooked food again. Just start eating cooked vegetables, and it won't take long. It'll stop it. How interesting is that when you think about that and witness that by kicking way down on the energy, by basically eating foods that are devoid of nutrition and energetics, it stops the body from healing itself. I mean, right there's in our face that the living food is the key to all life. Life begets life, death begets death, right? Right. Good. Where do I go from here to help get through this crisis? We got two choices when you get into a healing crisis at this level. And she's probably out of it by now. But I'm sure the staff helped her. But some of the staff doesn't always know either. You know, you've got to be, you got to have the experience with this to be helpful. And so everybody does the best they can, you know. But you got two choices. When you're in a healing crisis that is aggressive like this, you either belly up and make it better and get your diet stricter, like just go on a grape fast and with lemons and stuff, or you can stop it by using the cooked food. I prefer to kick it down. You're in it, you might as well kick it down. If it stresses you out beyond belief, you can't handle it, start eating cooked vegetables. You know, it always does that. Now, move the heart and lymph out of the breast and manage the excruciating pain. Yeah, I mean, you could take a natural aspirin or something like that. We have an antispasmodic and a natural painkiller. Try those before you step up to an Advil or something, because all those aspirin types they're finding more and more problems with them, although generally you can take one and no problem. But people are having serious problems on these aspirins. Oh, I am filtering well every day. Yo! Amazing how much sediment at times. That is just cool stuff. This lady is on it. You keep going on it, and you keep going until this all softens up. There's no question that you want to keep going until your symptoms are 100% gone, and then some. Whatever it is you want to achieve in the body, keep going. Because you can't do harm it in any way, shape, or form. You can only make it stronger and better. And there's no limit that we know of that. We don't know where the human can really go with this level of understanding. Some of you guys are achieving some fantastic levels that are amazing. Humans haven't experienced this level. You know, all this propaganda and lies that come out of there on fruit and everything else, it's just stupid stuff. I am calling upon my guardian angel to deliver this to your eyes so that you can help me through Christ. Pax, Annie, got it. May the blessings be. Absolutely. Maybe someday I can just sit and do a lot more of these so I can grab you guys before you have to call in here or something, you know. Right?
Yes.
I see. This is from Chris Brown. Hey, Chris Brown. My wife, Vanessa, was diagnosed as having ALS in August of 2015. We live near Boston and have periodic visits to MGH who have little to offer. Absolutely. And you know what? All of them have little to offer. I started working with quadriplegics, way back, and I was amazed there's just nothing out there. When you see them playing with stand-aid devices and electronic devices, I just want to throw up. There is tissue regeneration, guys, plain and simple, and that's for the quads as well as the pairs, as well as the ALS, MS, Lou Gehrig, whatever. ALS is Lou Gehrig's, but, Parkinson's and the like. Through a friend, I found an acupuncturist herbalist in Queens, New York, Caesar, who has been very helpful, but Vanessa has not yet fully committed. Ooh, well, this is Chris. This is for your wife, Vanessa. Vanessa, there's nothing out there on this planet for you except this level of thinking. And it's not just me being narcissistic or anything else. We've proved it over and over and over and over, especially with MS and ALS. Parkinson's, for some reason, a little more harder for us. It's harder for anybody. But ALS, Lou Gehrig's, and MS, I've told you cases that are just freaky. Matter of fact, I got to get him a call when I get back and get the video up, what we've done. It'll amaze you guys to see someone going from not speaking in a wheelchair to walking and talking. ALS. So where you go, Vanessa, is not fun, and there's no one can help you. You've got to learn there's regeneration of tissue, and to learn that, you want to learn what's degrading you. Why are you degrading? What's degrading your nervous system? You've got to learn this. If you wait till the allopathic community helps you, you're going to be in trouble and in a wheelchair and have no life. So you really want to learn more about tissue regeneration. And for me, that's a fruit, berry, and melon diet only. And you want to be on it for a year, probably. I don't know where your level is, but put yourself in for that. I don't care if it takes some of you guys 2 or 3 years. Who cares? It's better that you're working yourself out of these areas and working on regeneration than sitting there in a chair the rest of your life. Your body has to sometime respond to you. It has to. So sometimes our own consciousness gets in the way. And that, my friends, you have to change. When you enter this, you want to enter it with full-bore enthusiasm. I'm going to conquer this. You bring the power of your God self in here, and you do it. Just do it. Remember that? But this, I would get her committed, because if not fun to have a wife that drools and slips and all kinds of things. It's not fun. It's not fun to have dead weight when you're in there. It's not fun for her to lose the ability to talk to you. This is bad stuff. Don't think that you're one of the few and you just have minor symptoms of ALS now, no big deal. No, you want to deal with it now, and you're so much easier to get rid of it in these earlier stages. Are there any ALS diagnosed people who through your program return to full health who might encourage her with their personal experiences? Get on our Artie line and put that out there and see what you get back. We can, I'll give this to the people here and we'll see what we can get you. I want to get that one video up for you too. And we do have a spinal cord video you can get to view that. Testimonials. I have read the Detoxing Suspect and I'm personally on board. Well, your wife needs to get on board, understand what's going on, and go after this aggressively. I'm telling you, when you're down neurologically, that it sucks. There's nothing I mean, imagine being trapped, unless you learn out-of-body traveling and you get trapped in a physical body and have someone else have to take care of you and move you around, living a life of horrid, just for a few months of eating fruits and berries and melons and taking a few herbs. I don't know about you, but I'm not made with that level of awareness that would block me from getting myself well. And you don't want to live with it either. Thanks, Chris. Vanessa, get your butt in gear. Then you'll be good. I don't know how old you are, but if you haven't had kids, you might want to have a better life than being chair-bound in the future. Tiffany. Hello, Tiffany. I have stage 4 breast cancer. Yuck, Tiffany. I'm 31 years young, diagnosed 2 years ago. I've been juicing and went vegan right away. It has slowed it down, but hasn't stopped it. Get stricter. Get stricter and go after those kidneys. Dry fast. You want to dry fast 24, 36 hours a week. You want to get those kidneys filtering sooner or later if you're at stage 4. So you want to get this all opened up. I don't know where you are with using black salve or anything like that. I don't know where you are at stage 4. There are different levels of stage 4. If it's slowed down, that's excellent. That's good, because that tells me that if you get in there aggressively, you can stop that and then start reversing that, get that lymph moving and reverse the tumors and things like that. It also, in my lymph nodes and bones, well, it is part of the lymph system, period. It has always been in the lymph nodes. Whether you have a cancer cell in there or not, that's the job of macrophages in the lymph nodes. If the lymph nodes are so involved that macrophages, are suppressed in that way, I suppose that's a problem. I brought some kidney supportive herbs. I signed up to your health club so I could order some herbs, but am overwhelmed by all the options. You know what? Put yourself on the top of the programs. When you're in stage 4, you want to drop everything in life and know that if you want to keep your physical body, that you just have to get real strict on detoxification, because it's only true detoxification, regenerative detoxification, that can save anybody's butt. If you look at things like diseases and that you got to treat them, no one lives or survives those things well. And those that do, not always happy. So, and you don't fix anything, you just insult your body even more. The average person dies from that. So you don't want to do that. You really want to address the system down just like you're doing. Get aggressive. Get after those kidneys and adrenal glands. Get after the GI tract. You want to get after everything. Get after the skin. Get it sweating. You want to open all doors of elimination. You're already tumoring up. That means you're holding everything in. You're holding all your waste, your acids in the body. You want to eliminate. Medical doctors give you chemicals to suppress. You don't want to suppress. These tumors will just start popping everywhere. You want to expectorate, eliminate. That's the problem in the first place, is poor or the lack of proper elimination through the kidneys. And when you're younger, you can take that to the bank. Remember that? Let me get over here so you can see that heart. Don't be overwhelmed. The diet is the same for everybody, but especially stage 4s. The diet is always the same. The difference is you can interface a little more dry fasting, you can introduce water fasting, you can mono fast, which is eating a grape diet for 30, 40 days. You can eat grapes and do lemon juice for those times. I would definitely do a 10-day lemon juice fast. That's so strong, even acidic, it's so strong. Try to find as ripe lemons as possible. But really go after that. Trying to get some good lemons like Myers. But really get the body detox. That's it. Get the kidney channel open. You want to see sediment in your urine. And if you're not seeing sediment in your urine, you're not filtering, the body ain't going nowhere as far as I know, unless you're sweating to death. That's the only other channel you got, except coughing and sneezing and, the other drainages like that. How much is your online consult? I've been do Dr. Schultz detoxes since last fall, including bowel, liver, and kidneys. Well, Tiffany, I'm glad you found Schultz, though. Even though I'm totally not in line with Richard's stuff, only because it's old Christopher stuff. And I'm not about over insulting the mucosa with hot habaneros and cayenne peppers and things like that. That is not the answer. You can create more mucus on top of that, and that just makes tumors grow. Insulting and really hitting the gut with high peppers, that is just not the answer for anything. And the formulas, Richard is smart enough to make his own formulas and make them so much better than following the old Christopher road. Christopher was great. I love the old guy, but, you know, we all grow and learn, and you guys are going to grow and learn from me. And you say, oh, that old Dr. Morse. I learned a lot more as the times go on. Because that's supposed to. You guys are supposed to take what we do and take it to higher levels. That's the cool thing about life. But you haven't had good spiritual people guiding the humans on this planet. You've got religion, which dictates control and power and war if you don't believe what that religion believes in, even though everyone is cut from the same God, just different names. Or you have warriors as your gods, and that sets up bad situations when your warrior, as you looked on as a god, and then you get problems with that. So nobody loves anybody here. So the humans got to get it together. So don't be overwhelmed. I would get a consult with one of the counselors here and let them take you right through this. We do this every day. Stage 4 is just, I mean, there's a steady line coming in the clinic here. But we don't work on cancer. I want you to remember that. Even as a private health club, we teach you what's the real cause of this. Cancer is a word made up by medical doctors for a word of decay of cells. But you want to learn a lot more than their pseudo thinking of what a disease is. You really want to understand what a tumor is, exactly what system is down, what side of chemistry is down, and why that is so corrosive to you. And then everything will make sense to you. You understand the system down. Now your job is to fix it. And some of you are advanced in your genetic weaknesses, and you're working hard to try to fix these things. At least you understand what's up. Bad to go into chemotherapy with full-bore fear and not understand what's going on, don't understand why you have it. They're treating it, no one survives it. You live in a world of fear and unconsciousness. No, 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 no. That's idiocy. That's old stuff. That's dark agey stuff carried over by unconscious narcissistic individuals. The truth is out there. Where did we hear that? The truth is out there. So grab for that, my dear one, Tiffany, and get yourself going. 10-day grape. Give me a 10-day lemon juice fast followed by a 30-day grape. You could add some other fruit if you like with that. At the same time, you want to get on the herbs for your kidneys, adrenal glands, your GI tract. Take some Parasite M. Go after your body aggressively. Let's get it going. All right? And get hooked with someone here, even if it's a short time, just to help you get through this. When you're in stage 4s and ALSs and stuff like this, get a little help here of people that are experienced. I mean, Attila, Pat, and Marcy, they're kicking cases out like you wouldn't believe it. Cool stuff. Remember, in a club, this is a private health club, we can talk to you a lot more about your cases. This is a public forum, and you got to understand that I don't live in the world of diseases. The Amish man facing imprisonment is only facing imprisonment because he pissed off the FDA for not letting him in his house for the second time because they took pictures. They didn't honor his religion. They're unhonorable people. When you have a group of people like the FDA that walk around like big gorillas with AKs on private citizens, and you suppress herbs and things like that, the healing people, you're seriously in default. You've got some serious karma and some serious crap going on here. And then allowing the toxic chemicals on the market that kill people, I don't know how you're going to justify this karma or how you're going to justify it when the shit hits the fan on you. Same thing with the FDA. A good trial with an honest judge ought to take care of that. Nice jury. Exposing the millions of people that have been harmed by the FDA's rulings and the violation of rights of humans. Unreal, unprecedented. And big time under Obama administration, which you would think the opposite, since his old lady, his wife, is supposed to be so much into health. Yeah, right. The FDA hired more and got more aggressive. Name Lee. Hello, Lee. My name is Lee, and although I am a certified detoxification specialist, there are many things to know. There are many things to know. You know, I try to make it as simple as possible, but there are many things to know. And you will appreciate that when you become a healer, all the little things that you learn over all the years, you know. There's so much out there. But at the same time, don't feel inundated. Don't feel like you have to be a medical doctor. You know, I know a lot of practitioners and a lot of, detox specialists who get intimidated. Please don't ever get intimidated in front of medical doctors. They love to intimidate you with their pseudo-knowledge of nowhere. Remember, their applied theories are killing people by the millions and harming millions. So start looking at that differently. Start looking at the truth and reality of what's going on here. All right? Respect your own self, your own inner guidance, your own knowledge, your own ability to know truth. Don't sit there and wait for others to know it and then depend on them, because they lead a lot of people down to hellville and they lead a lot of people down to their deaths. You don't want to do that. You want to get yourself healthy. You want to know what your own world. You want to know the truth for yourself and your family if you're a family person, and your children if you have them, and your friends. You know, take the reins. You know, start learning what truth is. This site here is full of it. And if you can dispel it, let me know, and I'll change my thought on it. I would really appreciate if you took the time and made a 45-minute to an hour-long video on glandulars, adrenal glandulars in particular. This video would once and for all cover many points and aspects of using glandulars. You could call the video Glandulars 101. In the video, it would be nice if you covered the benefits, things to be cautions of, and independent use. Yeah, I could do one like that. I thought I did a little bit on the glandulars when we did this video on protocols. It's enough to say in physics, which is energy, and chemistry, which is your elements, basically, there's a process of movement between positive and negative, because this is duality. Creation has two forces at play, and energy bumps around back and forth between these two forces, creating magnetism. Opposites attract. This magnetism, of course, sets in the movement of electrons and protons in the world of chemistry. And now you have orbiters around central nucleuses and protons, and you have then magnetism and energy being produced. And so, between these two poles, you find that this energy, of course, is always in flux. There's never anything static. And so there is what's called ionization in chemistry, where when I'm an element that's full of protons, or what they call the positive side, I'm an acid. When I'm full of ladies circulating around my orbit, electrons, I'm a base. In other words, I'm more of an electrolyte. I conduct electricity. So in the process of life, life swings between these two poles in creation only. Creation, in its dualistic nature, still comes out of the one. The one divides itself into two forces. The illusion that keeps life moving and experiencing and all of that. When you pull back to the one, everything is just the one. And it's pure consciousness. Can't define it other than using intelligence, consciousness, awareness, things like that. You can only experience it. The mind can play tricks on you with it. But there's a saturation that you achieve in ionization. It isn't just moving all the electrolytes over. You get a saturation. And this is true electrically. You get a saturation. So all chemistry and these glandulars, even though a form of meat, is electrical, because they're desiccated, they're not cooked. And they've used radioactive isotopes to make sure that these aminos and these constituents get to the respective glands. And it's almost like tissue affects like tissue. And since the tissue from some of these animals are in a more healthier state, it ends up electrically passing more electricity to your like cells. This is where like attracts like for some reason. But there's a saturation. So if you went on adrenal 400 glandulars, if you have a low blood pressure, let's say 115 or below, I'd be on the 400 milligram glandulars for a couple of months. Then I would come down to the 200s, weaning off of the glandulars and going to the herbs, because in the final analysis, I'm an herbal man. I love herbs, and the only reason we use glandulars to coincide with the tremendous cell deterioration of the human, we also can get it because they're still slaughtering on this planet. So we can take advantage of some of these things to help people get well. In the final analysis, all that will drop away when man realizes you don't eat dead, you don't kill animals to eat them, especially the human. And we don't need to take any animal products. But in some of these advanced cases where you have, like this stage 4 and her adrenals are shutting down so much, you might have to hit that with a strong glandular. I just did a 15-week, 14-week protocol from a lady who is chronic low blood pressure down in the 70s over. The bottom 60, which is good, that's kidney pressure, that's good, but the top is the adrenal glands. Well, she's 70 over, so you can imagine the kind of fatigue she experiences and the slow neural responses, and in time the decay of the myelin sheaths with that. So you got some serious neurological weaknesses there. So there's a certain saturation, and I don't like to use glandulars long term. Now, chiropractors are notorious for giving you standard process labs glandulars, which are very inferior, and now, of course, not guaranteed to be organic. So standard process to me just ended their career with, hopefully, with most of us natural people, because they use commercial beef, not guaranteed organic, and that was from the horse's mouth. Because we didn't believe it either. Because I was told many years, probably 40 years ago, I hooked up with Standard, and they had their own farms, they grew their own vegetables, everything was organic. Sure a far cry now. You know, it's funny. It seems to be hard that companies can't stay stable. Greed always gets them. Well, you won't see that with us, as long as I'm at the helm. But I don't like to stay on glandulars long. I like to get in, got to give a punch, and then back off. Here's another one I do. When you have varicose veins, you bruise easy, spider veins, you have depression, that's all calcium problems. That's parathyroid, thyroid problems. So I will, and if I see a pituitary, remember that's our little hiccup, and if I see a pituitary weakness, I'll give you a pituitary herbal, and I'll give you a parathyroid glandular, because I don't know what herbs or berries are for the parathyroid gland. No one talks about it much. And so I will hit that gland with a 50 milligram, and since you have 4 parathyroids, I'll use 2 of those 3 times a day, TID. And I'll only do it for 1 month. Then I back off. You can hitchhike a bones formula with that if you want to pull them back straight and all that. That lady having a healing crisis in the bones could use the parathyroid gland and start increasing the utilization of calcium, which will pull that pain, help pull the pain out of those bones. You know, you're going to see bones with pain where you have a lot of calcium loss. I might revisit that in a couple of months down the road, or a month down the road, in extreme cases of scoliosis, osteoporosis, connective tissue problems, depression. You know, I'm going to revisit this until I can get these glands turned on. At the same time, I'm going in upper circulation, brain and nerve. I'm going after the glands neurologically. I'm going after the glands through the blood, and I'm going through the glands through the lymphatic system. So when you think about, when you're going after the human body, you're going after the human body and the 3 main energy flows: blood, nerve, and lymph. And that's in every tissue. That's in the heart, that's in the lungs, that's in the brain, that's everywhere. Blood, nerve, and lymph. And you're going after them, and my protocols reflect that. I have you on a formula for the lymphatic system, which also cleans the blood, by the way. But I also have you on a liver gallbladder formula, which also cleans the blood, by the way. I have you on a kidney formula, which also cleans the blood, by the way. And, of course, all those herbs clean the spleen, and that, of course, is the major cleaner of the blood. And then I'm going after the nervous system because that controls the movement of things, including your beta cells for insulin production. So I'm going after your nervous system and kick it up another notch. Start getting things moving, bowels moving better, lungs breathing better, things like that. So I'm always going after those tissues when I'm going after a case. That's why we're so successful, because we're going after the body as a whole. And we understand the acidosis and why different foods are causing what they're causing. You know, when you believe that high proteins are good for you, that's not a good belief system. It's not an accurate one. And there's nothing out there to demonstrate it except belief systems and propaganda. There's no scientific evidence. Matter of fact, look at applied theories. Apply the theory of low protein diets and you get well. Add protein and your pain comes back. Done this, demonstrated this for years, even in the medical community. So, the problem with glandular, short-term use and get out. My opinion. I am not a real sticky wicky. There are some of you that need glandulars that refuse to take them. I respect that. But some of you are in some very bad ways. You know, and sometimes you have to use something just temporarily to get things going better. But irregardless, I respect everybody's belief system. Totally. But don't let creation rule you in any level, because it's all illusionary. Your body, everything is trapped in duality, and you have to apply the rules of duality to that. You can't apply the rules of consciousness to the rules of the human body. You know, a lot of people think just positive thinking will heal the human body. Oh, it's helpful, but you've got a human body in a chemical universe, and you must apply the rules of chemistry and physics to that, not theory chemistry through the medical community. They like to turn that around and teach everybody that we don't know what we're talking. We don't. Most of us are chemists. We all of us love physics. Spiritual people do particularly. Can you explain your theory through chemistry? If not really, we can take your theory and chemistry and dispel the whole thing. And we're going to do that. I'm telling you, I've got a video coming when I get back. But don't get too hung up on the glandulars. I just, electrically, I don't like to get, I see that if you're on the adrenals too long, you'll see the reverse. You'll see fatigue coming back in. It's like you reach a saturation of electricity and then you go back the other way. And I told you about that on a machine I was on from a Texas Ranger or a U.S. Marshal who became a little bit of an inventor, and I had my electrical system on a machine he invented, and the electricity, I could feel myself breathing better. I'm going, oh, cool, hit saturation, and down I'm going the other way, and now I can't breathe again. I'm going, whoa, get me off of this damn thing. So I believe in doing everything right and in right rhythm, and you'll be successful every time. Or at least for those that are saying, I mean, you might have some of you that are so advanced, let go. If you make it, you make it. If you leave the body, get with yourself. Because you're going nowhere. You're just losing your body. So don't be afraid you're losing yourself. You don't. If anything, your loved ones. But most of you will not have a problem with that. You'll be going to places where you'll see your loved ones in certain ways. You don't have to worry about that, put it that way. For the bold, you will be going to places far beyond what those that recirculate do. Anyway, so I hope that helps you, Lee, to some extent, in a hurried way to do it. I have to go here in a minute. It's Sunday night at 7:30. It's starting to turn dark out, and I probably should go. The cops will wonder what I'm doing in my office late at night. Look at that. I'm sorry, I'm right in front of that heart. I am going to move it over. I've got that message because it looks like a Mickey with the ears. Two big red ears. Manon, M-A-N-O-N. I had a tumor of the bone in the brain, a sarcoma, on my left side removed 8 months ago, but not all removed. At the recent scan, it showed swelling and lesions. I refused chemo and radiation. The tumor left me with epilepsy. Oh, the tumor left me with epilepsy, episodes, and spasm on the right side, mostly my arm. If I get cold, it can start an episode. And you know why? Because cold is alkaline, and alkaline starts the detoxification and can start some spasticity when you're locked. Like you're locked, Absolutely. Like the lady's experiencing pain now in a healing crisis, and that's all alkalizing and getting in and hydrating, creating an anionic medium out of a cationic medium. If I can start an episode, I eat mostly fruits and veggies, but also need warm food. I get that. I took the lymph tonic one and the kidney one. Is there something to do for the epilepsy and central nervous system for the tumor? All right. Absolutely, big time. Okay, first of all, the diet is good. Fruits, berries, and melons, I would use some tea, like the 3-lung tea mixed with the Hillall tea. Sip on that. That'll warm you up. And at the same time, they're tumor busters. And they're also for inflammation, all kinds of stuff like that. Now, I would take the this is me, I'm going to take the antispasmodic and the brain and nerve. We got rid of our brain and nerve 1, we're going to stay with our brain and nerve 2. So we're just calling it brain and nerve. So I would do antispasmodic, which builds the nervous system as well, but it'll help your spasms. And I would take the brain. The brain and nerve. That's going to strengthen. I'm also going to use upper circulation on you. Now, I'm going after why you're doing this. Why is the tumor there? Why are you having spasms and stuff? So I'm going after the tumor. Wherever the location is, its impact on the nervous system there, all this acidosis, I'm going after that. So I'm going to have you on 2 kidney formulas. I'm going to have you on 2 lymphatic formulas. I'm going after you. I'm going after the GI tract. I'm going to make sure you're sweating. I'm going to work the neurolymphatic points. And I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go out and get your kidneys filtering with some dry fasting and with the fruit. And I'm going to get that tumor out of you. That's how you do it. You're reversing how you're creating that. You're getting away from the foods that are tumor forming. Anything that's a dairy product is tumor forming. End of story. I don't care if it's yogurt, if it's kefir. I don't care what health benefits you think it has. Anything that has dairy product proteins is mucus forming is a tumor former. Cayenne pepper, I hate to say it, Richard Schultz, but you can get your tumors growing with peppers too much. Anything that overstimulates or is of a foreign protein is not the time to have it. This is a time for fruits, berries, and melons only. Lemon juice fast, grape fast. Go after the lymphatic system, which is the kidneys and adrenal glands. Those two together, you got to go after both of those. Man, I'm aggressive. If you're sitting around with tumors and stuff, I don't play games. No, you play games, might be the last game you play. So I really get focused in on the situation and get it done. And you will be successful. I recommend a surgeon go in and remove whatever they can. Then if there's a little bit left, we'll get that. It's easier on the body to remove a small tumor than a big one. All right, so here's end-stage renal disease. I just had a stage 5 here. Creatine's only 6. But he's turning it around on him. You know, the kidneys love to regenerate, guys. They're acid organs that when you bring the base chemistry in, and you see the alkaline urine. Don't freak out with this. Because when you're highly acidic and you start a base-dominant diet, a fruit, berry, and melon, and with some green diet, your urine should turn alkaline. And that's only because it's a natural process of ionization, and you're going to lose all these electrolytes to a certain point, but the process is starting. But if you look at that, it's good for the kidneys because it'll cool down the kidneys and allow the swelling to come out and remove the agglomeration of the kidneys. This then will help filtration of the kidneys then. Excuse me. I was diagnosed with IgA neuropathy several years ago. Nephropathy. I began hitting creatinine in numbers of 12 around first part of the year. Wow, you must be on dialysis then. By August 2014, I walked into Dr. Rivera's office with creatinine level 20.3 and a bloody nose and wouldn't stop. Ouch. They immediately put me on peritoneal dialysis. Now, over 2.5 years later, they keep me on a high-protein diet. Oh, my God. Well, it's time that you take control of your own world and get away from they. All right, so you can never get off of that with a high protein diet. You keep damaging your kidneys. They have no clue. You're very wrong. You went on a fruit and berry and melon diet, even though there's additional water. You're already on dialysis. Okay, I get that. Am I too late for fruits, berries, and melons? No, never. Stop the high proteins. Go into this. They want to take my wife's kidney, but in a pool, so that I would get one from the pool that is a match. Don't do it to another individual. Don't take another individual's kidney. They need it. They don't realize they need it. And of course, the medical profession thinks, and this is the renal specialist, they always think, hey, you got an extra and give up one. That's a big poster. I showed you that poster years ago. Someone brought it in from Dialysis Center. And it's a nice little kidney, and it says, you've got two, give up one. Oh my God. That's the level of consciousness. They all have passed that. Our level of consciousness is you've broken down your kidneys, now rebuild them, even if they're genetically weak. So you want to get on a fruit and berry and melon diet. And I would do it like yesterday. At the same time, get on some kidney herbs. They're real soothing to the kidneys. Get on adrenal herbs. And really get on one lymphatic herb for a while. Lymphatic 1 capsules. Get on 2 kidney herbs. An adrenal gland herb. Probably wouldn't hurt to get on the brain and nerve, and it wouldn't hurt to get on, if you don't have any tumors, get yourself on lower circulation. That'll help to move blood more aggressively through the kidneys. Be very helpful to you. Those are the things I'm going to do like yesterday, and you'll back yourself out of this. And when hopefully you're still peeing. And if you're still peeing, once we get down into the lower creatinines, you can get off dialysis and you'll be in good shape. And that's where I'm going. And that's the only place to go. You know, this is the idiocy of that. They have this poor lad on high-protein diets. The very thing that causes kidney failure. The very thing that causes kidney failure is high-protein diets. So, is there an effort not to get people well? Because there are channels. Take this at a higher level. The negative forces, the positive forces. Who you a channel for? If we're talking about creation, who you a channel for, right? So the negative forces, who's the channel for that one? It's easy to tell, isn't it? Easy to tell. Anything that hurts people, that tears people's bodies apart, things like stupidity like this, that's all of the negative forces. You don't need to take anybody else's kidneys, fix your own. Because it's just, there's nothing good about any of that. Nothing good. And in some kidney transplants where the lymph system isn't properly dealt with, you can get major lymphedema, particularly in the legs. I had one lady with an elephant leg. She didn't live long. Can't stop the filtration. I mean, they took her kidney out. And, of course, didn't deal with the lymph system properly, and she became elephantitis, basically. Extreme lymphedema. I mean, I just... On that matter...
No!
Myelofibrosis, bone marrow cancer. Yuck. It doesn't matter where the cells are being damaged at. Just remember the cancer word is a medical word, and it simply means that you have cells being damaged in the bone marrow. What's damaging them? What system is involved? Why? That's the questions you have to ask. Okay? So it doesn't matter whether it's in the bone marrow, it doesn't matter if it's in the lung, it doesn't matter if it's in your heart, it doesn't matter if it's in the eye. It doesn't matter where the cancer is. The side of chemistry that's causing this is always the same. There's only 2 sides. So it's always the acid side of chemistry causing this problem. So now the next question is, you can't go to the All-Pass for this answer because they just flatly don't know. But what system in your body, and you only have 2, that deals with the acid side of chemistry, and it's not the blood, so that only leaves 1. See how easy that is? Now, I was diagnosed 6 months ago with bone marrow cancer. My bone marrow doesn't do its work and solidifies. Ugh. I also suffer, well, you know why, though? Anything that solidifies is called agglomulation. Agglomulation happens under what side of chemistry? Acids. They're corrosive and agglomulating. They thicken the blood. It's all that. Base chemistry has the opposite effect. Hydration, fluidity, that sort of thing. I also suffer of anemia and tiredness. Why not? Because what system has to be down to have any diagnosis of any cancer anywhere? What system has to be down? The lymphatic system, and that's the kidney and adrenals. And the skin, and you can link it to the thyroid. Oh man, we're linking all over the place, isn't it? That's why we're holistic. We're holistic because we see the interconnection of all life, including all parts of the body. Holistic doesn't attack things individually. It looks at whole. Holistic. Doesn't use supplements because we're holistic. We need all the buddies working together in chemistry in a consumption and let the body divide it up and take what goes where. So, of course, he's tired. He's got his adrenals down. Hyperthyroidism. All right, so he's in a hyperthyroid state. Hyperthyroidism is a lot easier to deal with than chronic hypothyroidism. So all you got to do is detoxify. Take nothing for the thyroid. Go after the bone marrow. It'll pull the hyperthyroid right out of you. That's not difficult to get rid of at all. The tiredness, you might have some bouts of that one as the adrenals get themselves turned back on. In some months, I have to get a chemotherapy that will destroy my bone marrow and then transplant a new one. And if you believe they're going to transplant bone marrow, you're crazy because they're horrible at it. Stem cell, bone marrow, none of that ever works. I'm telling you, I've been in this field for 40-some years. I hear the stories, not just my own opinion. I hear it from people that have been through it. You can rebuild your bone marrow. You can rebuild your body. I suggest you rethink your strategy. But, as long as you believe that they can rebuild bone marrow, medical doctors can't rebuild anything. They can transplant and make it look good, but the success rate is low, very low. Have you ever treated that kind of cancer? Absolutely. And I don't treat anything. And what should I do in my lifestyle? And this is Isabel from France. Well, Isabel from France, you got some fruit, berries, and melons. You got some good grapes. I'm on a grape diet. That is really, your dark grapes, really bone marrow regenerative. And I'm going off after it. I'm going after my kidneys, my adrenals. I'm going to clean up my liver. I'm going to go really into my body and turn it back on and get everything rebuilt. And the bone marrow will rebuild as well. Had many of cases. So even I've had bone marrow damage from chemical fires and stuff. Rebuilds. But you have to understand how the body works and how getting this chemistry out of you, getting yourself hydrated, understanding why you have a glomulation. The diet. Go to that fruit. Go to that fruit and berries and melons. Go to the greatest tasting foods on the planet. Get them tree ripe and as organic as possible. And I'm going to have to go here in a minute. Yeah, I was aware she stuck a lot of cancer cases on the top here. That's why I wanted to do this and get to you guys. So I'll read one more, and then I'm going to have to go. But I love you guys, and I want you all well. I don't want to see anybody out there suffering, and you don't have to. You might have to go through a little of it to get well, but healing crises are not always fun, that sort of thing. But we have to do it, don't we?
Well, yes.
See? That was perfect. Good morning. Good morning. Well, now I'm going to have to say good evening because it's late in the evening. Good morning, Dr. Morse. My name is Vivian, and I have been following your videos for around 3 weeks now. Oh, thanks, my love. I just love the way you explain everything. Oh, thanks. I hope so, because we have to learn how to explain it to others in a simplistic manner. Who cares if it gives the intellectual, those that are in that level, a little fit? Because you have to show that we can be as smart as you want us to be intellectually. I mean, I've read a few libraries in my world, but do we have to maintain our ego and intellectualism? Heck no, we're only using it to gain awareness. You hold on to other people's ideas, that's about what you have in your life, is a life of other people's opinions and ideas. Where's your own? You need to get your own opinion and own ideas. Who cares what Joe Blow thinks? What's your experience in life? That's what matters, is you and your experience. That's why you're the individual you are. That's why you're a beautiful being, each and every one of you. Doesn't matter what you look like physically. Doesn't matter what you've got, your weaknesses and stuff. Work through them. Change the way you operate your bodies in creation. All of them. The mind, the emotions, physical body. Change the way you conduct yourself. And your experiences will be greater. And you're the one conducting yourself. You're the conductor. No one else is. If you align yourself with others, that's what you're doing. If you need to be the lead dog, get away from the views always the same. Maybe you need to move around the dogs and get up there up front and start thinking it out for yourself and getting the information for yourself and learning. We're going to put all kinds of scientific data in front of you as we can get a hold of, or we're going to do everything we can to prove the point. But nothing proves it any better than strapping yourself on the bull and taking the ride, right? And so many of you have, and look at what you've done to yourselves. You got yourselves well, or you're on that journey. Things are getting better and better and better, and you just keep making it so. Some of you are stagnant. Look at your own consciousness. See where you're stagnant. Could be your own self that's stagnant. Throw away that. Hook to the divine. Know that you're going to grow. Don't take it. Don't let your body go down, but remember, you're not your body. Take full responsibility for everything. You have even helped me to understand medicine better. Good. And I want to be one of the ones that spread your knowledge. I went to medicine school in the Dominican Republic, the DR. You know, what's ironic about that is that years ago, I helped another naturopath down in Puerto Rico heal or clean the cancer. It was a pancreatic cancer out of the Presidente's wife. And so the Presidente at that time said he would give us the old dictator's mansion, which had, I think, 55 duplexes, a landing strip. So I flew down to the DR and met up with this naturopath and went to this place, or tried to get to this place to look at it. The experiences was horrible, but the Dominican is gorgeous, but so toxic. There's no catalytic converters. The air burns you. The air is so acidic. Santiago, some of these places, so acidic. But that's nice. I like the Dominican. And when I came back to the U.S., I don't see to fit in the health system here. Well, you got some good experiences behind you, some good knowledge. Now learn how that knowledge, you can expand it and fit it in the right categories, and you'll make a good healer. You know, become a healer. That's what you have in your heart anyway, isn't it? Unless it's just to make money. And a good healer, that's what this world needs, is a bunch of good healers that can take people and work them through their weaknesses. And spiritual healers can help you with your emotional and mental states as well. I have been taking my USMLE boards, but I'm very discouraged by this system. I don't blame you. And to tell you the truth, I don't want to become a doctor anymore. Well, you can be a doctor, but be a natural doctor, a doctor for the divine, a doctor of nature. And let me tell you, that's the greatest doctor there is. Not these pseudo guys that think they're so narcissistic that they'll pump you full of chemo and crap or put titanium bullets in you, things like that. Now, I'm not negating good surgeries or surgeons at all, or emergency medicine. That is medical. My beef is with the oncologists and the GPs, and people think they can treat diseases which doesn't exist, and give people vaccines and put our children into ADDs and seizures and all this crap. The idiocy of that field, not the surgery and not the emergency medicine. Until I found your videos, definitely this is godsend. I've been praying for clarity in what He wants me to do, and this is the perfect place for you to be too. I want to do what you do, and I want to learn as much as I can. Well, come to school, have fun. This is why I'm contacting you, because I want to know if this is a possibility, or if you have any recommendations for me. Well, yeah, Dr. Vivian, honey, I would come to our class. Level 1, if you can get here in time. I know she's closed it, but for you, I'd make an opening. But you want to learn. I'm not going to be teaching them too many more years. We're going to put it up online for you and stuff like that. So, you know, it's a lot of energy for me, because I don't sit there and read my talks, as you guys know. So, fun stuff. And you can actually come and get some clinicals with some of ours, Marcy, Attila, or Pat. You'll really enjoy that. Pat is also a medical doctor who became an anatomy and physiology professor and then decided that this is more fun. And we are, by the way, we are joining teams, us here, and we're starting our own naturopathic school. There's just too much crap out there. So we're going to start a naturopathy school, one with a good curriculum and a very well-respected school it will be. And so you will learn when you leave this how to sit down with anybody and help them. But I already guarantee you that with my classes. When you come to my week-long schools, you better learn how to heal people when you get out of there. And if you don't, we're going to help you till you do. Because that's the rhythm of things. The rhythm of things is let's put our hands out to each other and let's hug each other and help each other and give a big heart. Alrighty. I love you guys, but it's time for me to go. And I'll give this to Jen. New Sunday night needs to get up. All right. Thank you. You're all loves to me. Take care of yourselves. A big cyber hug to everybody. And be in the now. Be in the now. Who cares about anybody else? This journey is about you. Totally you. And your development and your awakening. Don't you want to know the higher parts of yourself? Don't you want to be able to move by thought? Don't you want to have the freedom to understand how the universes are put together? And the wisdom to run your world and creation at the highest order possible? This is all good stuff. Love you guys. See you on the next video. Probably be a week. Sorry. But love you guys. See you at class for those that are coming. That ought to be out there. I'm going to have fun with this one.